So this is the Six Figure Spiritual Business Masterclass. I'm going to talk people through what it takes to get a six-figure business off the ground, okay? So let's make a start. The idea here is to talk you through how to transition out of an unfulfilling job, business, life into a highly profitable coaching business that's aligned to your life's purpose and all of that. So this is for determined spiritual people. It's for people who feel called to make more of a difference in the world. It's for people who want to use their skills, their natural gifts, your stories, your self-help knowledge, spiritual wisdom, your life experiences to support and empower other people. You recognize that there's a call on your life. You recognize that there's something that you are here specifically to do, and you really want to do it, but you haven't figured out how to actually make it profitable. That's who this masterclass is for. But it's also for that full or part-time coach, spiritual teacher, healer, trainer, course creator, anybody, alternative health practitioner, service-based business. You're not yet creating six figures in profits, and you do want to, because there's a heck of a lot of spiritual people who don't actually admit to wanting to make money. If you don't admit to it, the chances of you actually ever getting there, slim to none. Let's just be very honest about this, okay? Or you're somebody who is ready now to transition from an unfulfilling job or career into a coaching healing business where you get to change people's lives. You're your own boss, you're living out your own purpose, and you do want to make six figures. Again, I like to emphasize this because, as I said, there's a lot of people who they kind of say they want to make money, but the idea of fully admitting that yes, you want to change a heck of a lot of lives, but you also want to make a great income whilst doing so. A lot of spiritual people find this really difficult to admit. And people like that, I can't support you. I can only support you if you're at least willing to admit to yourself that you want this. Okay, so what can you expect from listening into this? Discover how to take your skills, your knowledge, your natural gifts, your life experiences, your spiritual wisdom, turn it into something that the marketplace deeply desires so that you're able to help those you feel called to serve. And also you'll discover the 5 steps that you need, or every six-figure service business owner ultimately must have in place in order to move forward. Some of y'all have been in my world for a little while. You are familiar with these steps, but repetition can never be underestimated. The power of repetition cannot be underestimated. So listen in. You're going to discover simple, love-centered ways to promote yourself and your message in just 90 minutes a day. And if you actually stick with me to the end of this masterclass, you can request, so you're going to have to send a message out to me for the 90-minute plan. There's a plan I put together for my clients, which details in 90 minutes how you can get your business out there, ultimately, exactly what to do with content and all that. So if you want that, stick around to the end and then reach out to me and tell me, yeah, I watched it all and I would love the 90-minute plan, and then I'll get that over to you. We're also going to look at some of the blocks that keep you from six-figure success, ultimately, and from making the difference that you're here on this planet to make. So there's a lovely little blurb there from one of my clients, Melanie, and the fact and how working together meant that she was able to stop dithering, stop procrastinating, and actually start building the business that she'd been thinking and dreaming about. And she was one of those people who had gone to college and done all the whole solicitor, lawyer thing, and was reluctant to let it go. And some people, that's one of the reasons why you're dithering on the fence, because you've committed so much to becoming the professional that you are in your career, but now you realize that your career isn't what you wanted it to be. And that's how I felt as a pharmacist myself. And there's this feeling that you've invested so much time and money in becoming this career professional. How can you now change direction? And yet what are you saying? You're going to stay stuck for the next 40 years or whatever, doing, or it depends on how old you are, but are you going to stay stuck doing, even wasting more time doing more of what you do not want to do? Or will you make the choice to move? Thankfully, Melanie made the choice to move. Life changed for her. The same thing can happen for anybody that wants to do that. So my idea here is that in the next 45 minutes to give you simple things, 5 simple things, because I'm not complicated. I know the first time you do anything, of course, it's going to feel a little bit, oh my gosh, what's happening? But actually, you know what? I'm not a very technical person. I keep things simple. I want to help people. And I want to help people in as simple a way as possible. And I show people how to do exactly that too. That's how I do the things that I do. They're simple. Doesn't mean that it's always easy to do this stuff, though. When you get into the habit of it, it becomes easy. But anyway, I'm going to give you 5 simple things that you need to change your life, to change lives, not just yours, including yours though. Create wealth and start now though. So please be very present with me here. Very present with me here so that you're hearing. There's a lot of distraction around, especially this time of year and all of that. There's a lot of distraction. Be present, listen in. You could hear something here that could change the course of your life. And I always think, you know what, it's not even always what I'm saying. It's the fact that you've created the space to be here. You get ideas coming up inside of you that you didn't have the focus to listen to before. So something that the divine says to you in these moments could change your life. So please be here now, okay? Okay, so I want you to know this. The marketplace is waiting for you, and I don't care how long you've been doing this. The marketplace is waiting for you. There is space for you. Your people will be best served by you. There is room for you in the marketplace. All you need to do is really decide that you are going to make room for yourself, and you're going to wake up and commit to doing what needs to be done to move forward. Every single person listening to me, you've worked hard to get to where you are. So I know you're a hard worker. That's not the issue here. The issue is, do you believe in yourself and your vision enough to really put it out there, regardless of how long it's taken, okay? And regardless of all the distractions in your life currently, are you willing to put yourself out there? If you are, the marketplace is waiting for you, because nobody is exactly you. Your vision is your permission. You do not need to wait for another sign. Some people waiting and praying and affirming and waiting for the doors to open. Honey, you need to push on the doors. You need to push on the doors. Okay? And you are very capable of your calling. This isn't about you doing something that you cannot do. The only time you can feel that way is when you try to be somebody other than yourself. You don't have to do that to build a successful business. There is a way for you. Yeah, there are principles, there are foundational things to learn, but ultimately there is a way for you. There is a way for you, okay? So who am I? I'm Rosemary Nonny. I was an unfulfilled pharmacist once upon a time, and I dabbled at a heck of a lot of businesses because I knew that I wanted to do something more. But I didn't think that the thing that I really wanted to do, it was possible for me to do. So I dabbled at all kinds of different things except the thing I wanted to do. Okay, but I thankfully, I didn't actually succeed at any of those other things. Okay, so after many silly mistakes, I went bankrupt. I had 4 years of depression, and this was a mixture of overgiving, and a lot of you do that. Giving and giving and giving to everybody else because you feel blessed to be a blessing and you want to serve the world, except you're doing it in a way that is not sustainable. And so, as much as you are gifted, you've been given all your gifts in a way that really doesn't support your growth. And so, you're struggling now. You're struggling now because you're trying, but yeah, you're not getting anywhere. So, anyway, for me, same thing. I went bankrupt because I kept saying yes when I really should have been saying no. In terms of giving, and I went through 4 years of depression because I felt like a horrible failure. Here I am, supposed to be pharmacist, supposed to be my parents, and everybody thought that I was so bookish, I was so intelligent at school and all of that, that I was going to do that, and here I was bankrupt. I didn't even tell my family. I was too ashamed, way too ashamed to even talk about it. So I just let them think whatever they were thinking, like, oh, she's being selfish, she doesn't want to help us. I was just like, you know what, whatever, think whatever you want to think. I'm going to deal with my stuff. But I wasn't even really dealing with it. I was just feeling sorry for myself. Truth be told, I was feeling sorry for myself, buried my head in the sand, sold all my personal development books, sold all my business development books, thought to myself, nah, this thing doesn't work for people like me. People like me, we just have to just stay in the job that we do not like, and that's it. That's life for us, and just get over it. Thank God, God found me there. But it took 4 years, and having my 3 daughters, it was having my 3 daughters. There they are, those beautiful businesses that made me realize I don't want them to think that that's the only options that they have. They're women just like me, or the girls just like me. And I want them to grow up knowing that a woman can step up and choose the life that she wants. I don't want them to grow up thinking, you know what, you don't have choice. You have to just take on a career just that gives you money. You just have to do this and you just have to do that, and maybe even have to delay having children because you need to make sure that your money is okay, and your money is determined by whether somebody thinks you're worth this or worth the other. No, I did not want them to grow up thinking that. And so I had to wake up. I had to realize burying your head in the sand isn't going to get you anywhere. And yeah, I say that to you guys too. Burying your head in sand isn't going to get you anywhere. You don't have to wait until your finances are as dire as mine were. But even if they are that dire, I'm sorry, but you know what? You find a freaking way. There is always a way. There's no way that the divine has put a vision inside of you for you to bring to life and that there isn't a way to do it. So you can tell yourself all the stories that you want to tell yourself, but they are stories. It's not necessarily the truth. In fact, there's no necessarily, it isn't the truth. There is always a way for you to take the next step. Always. I don't care where you're starting from. There's always a way to take the next step. Okay? Because sometimes people get caught up in their stories. And, I hope that's not you. So I'm not even going to go too far along that line. But I do want to emphasize this. You will have to start in the middle of what may be a very busy, very distracted, very chaotic life. If you're waiting for your life to suddenly get easier or sorted, or maybe you're already in business and you've done everything, and you're telling yourself, I've tried every freaking thing. I promise you, you haven't. It's not true. It's a story you're telling yourself. And I get why you might want to tell yourself that story, but is it getting you what you want? Because if it's not getting you what you want, why keep telling yourself that story? Why keep telling yourself that story? Wake up. Wake up. So I woke up. I got serious, except I took a sideways step into real estate because, again, I was still in that mindset that said, you know what, let's do something really practical and really make us money. Nothing wrong with that, except that was why I did pharmacy, and I didn't like pharmacy, so I did real estate. And yeah, you know what, within 18 months or by month 12, I'd won a Porsche Boxster Businesswoman of the Year. Everything was going well. I'll tell you now that first year was one of the hardest years of my life. One of the hardest years, and the other hardest year of my life was trying to breastfeed my firstborn. That was horrible, basically. But building a business, that's what I say to people, you know what, the two things that will grow you more than anything is children and business. Okay? Because it will demand stuff from you that you didn't even know you had. But somehow I kept going 12 months. And I got the money because I invested a heck of a lot of money. I invested something like 10,000. I did not have 10,000, guys. I had to borrow. And I invested that money with the commitment inside of me that freaking money is coming back. So by month 12, that money was back to me in the form of, what's it called? In form of equity in property. But then also I won this Porsche, which actually turned into another house because I kept it for a little while and then I sold it and turned it into another house and another car, basically. But yeah, so that was month 12. And by month 18, because I carried on and found this strategy that really worked for me. And it just accelerated everything. And I was making over £200,000. I completely quit working as a pharmacist because my coach at that point said, Rosemary, you don't have to do the pharmacy thing anymore. So I was like, because I hadn't even noticed, I just got my head on the ground. Just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. Basically, and a year later, I found the courage to actually deregister as a pharmacist because it took me a year to finally think, can I really do that? Can I not give up my plan B? But then I also went on to build online business as well because my coach did say, is this actually what you want to do? No, it wasn't. I wanted to coach, but I just didn't see how it was practical. But he showed me that it was practical because one, he was doing it anyway. I didn't have to wait until I was 52 or 72, which was in my head, I thought I need more life experience first. But no, when you're called, you're called. The question is, will you listen to the call? And yeah, my hair turned blue. Now, of course, I have no hair. But at that point, so that was 18 months, ultimately. And what changed for me? Yeah, I'd always been connected to the divine, but I took it to a whole new level. I actually started trusting what was said to me. My money mindset, I had to work on it. I had to work on it. The clarity of focus, I had to stop allowing all kinds of distractions to take me off course. It wasn't easy all the time, but I did it. The simple business strategy, I had to apply that. And I did become the authority in my life. I stopped waiting for people to tell me what I could do, people to tell me how to do it, or tell me how much I'm worth, or whether I was allowed. I took authority. This is what I want. This is what I'm going to create. And so everything changed. Same thing happens with clients. When you get to that point where you're deepening that connection, you're working on your wealth consciousness, because if you try to do things from a wealth consciousness of lack and scarcity, you'll keep creating the same. You have to work on it. Your clarity, your focus, all of this being distracted, trying to start 20 million businesses at the same time because you're afraid that this one isn't going to work. And blah, blah, blah. All of that stuff needs to stop. And you do need a strategy. I'm sometimes quite amazed by spiritual people who get started in business and have no strategy really, except to pray. I'm just going to pray and affirm, and then, the divine should send people my way because I'm called. No, come on now. Come on now. You need to become the authority in your life. The divine will love you, whatever you choose to do, whether you live in your vision or you don't live in your vision, you're loved. But if you want an actual business, you have to get strategic about it. And you have to become the authority in your life. There is no shortcut because you're spiritual and now you're going to... I do see the divine as my secret source to make things happen. But at the same time, I recognize that I have a part to play. I have a part to play. There's none of this messing about trying to pretend that thing. No. I have my part to play. So do you. And so the clients that succeed, you realize you have to become the authority in your life. You have a part to play. Yes, the universe is supporting and guiding and all of that to you, and you do need to do all the affirming and praying and all that. But if you think that you're just going to pray, and then just sit there and hope that everything is just going to open, it doesn't work that way, my loves. We're not exempt from living life. We're not exempt from being practical just because we're spiritual. Okay, moving on. So first, do you have a goal? To me again, how many people do not really have a goal? Maybe because you've set goals in the past and they didn't come to pass, and so there's a part of you that thinks, what is the freaking point? What is your 6-month goal? Because let's just pull back the curtain here. What is your 6-month goal? What are you committing to? Where are you going to become when I talk about being the authority in your life, you need to determine inside of yourself, this is what I'm creating. What is it? Take a moment right now, wherever you're listening in from. Write it down. What is your 6-month goal for your business? What is it? Feel into it. Write it. I like to say to my clients, write, speak, see, feel. Write it down. Speak it out. See it. See yourself being that person that is living that goal. Feel how it would feel to be there. Make it real. Imagine yourself being the person who makes this goal happen. And no, if you've been in business for a long time and it hasn't worked, you may have already done this so many times. And so now you're telling yourself, I tried that, it didn't work. Do you want that to continue being your story? Or are you ready to come at this with fresh eyes again? With a childlike curiosity, childlike spirit. I know sometimes when you've been thrown around by life, it can feel like, I just don't even know that I have it in me, but you're here. So there's a reason you're listening, because there's a part of you that just hasn't quite stopped. So good. Let's tap into that part of you. Dream again. What is your 6-month goal? What is it? Let's get clear about it. How committed are you to bringing it to life? And I really want you to be honest about this. Because sometimes people are saying to me, oh, they want to be in business, but then they're telling me about how, but first I have to, it reminds me of the story, I think Jesus said this in the Bible, in fact, I know he did, something about, he was calling people to come and follow him, and then they were like, oh, let me just bury my father, let me just bury my mother, or whatever, and Jesus was just like, you know what, let the dead bury the freaking dead, if you want to follow me, come now. Now, nobody ever remembers this kind of stuff when they're thinking, oh, spiritual, just going to be nice, no. Sometimes you have to make a clear-cut decision. Are you actually committed to bringing your goal to life? Or are you just dreaming? Is it a now thing, or is it a, well, when life is a little bit better and things are easier and there's lots of money in the account and there's lots of time. That's why you're starting the business, is to create time freedom and money freedom. And what you think you're going to create time and money freedom, doing what you've been doing all this time, and somehow you're going to then create it so that you can now begin the business. That makes no sense. I like to say it's like somebody asking a cleaner to come, but then you clean the house before the cleaner gets there because you're ashamed that the cleaner will see that your house is dirty. Isn't that why you hired the cleaner in the first place? Basically. So again, I ask you to be honest with yourself. How committed are you to bringing it to life? And for some of y'all, you're dependent, your partner is taking care of things. Your job is cushy. So as much as you say you want to live in your vision, you're not really actually properly committed to it. You're not really. If you're honest, You'll realize that one of the reasons why things haven't worked is because you're not actually committed to making it work. Take a moment. Are you committed? For real? Are you? Next thing, now that you have this goal, now that we've established whether you're committed or not, do you have a clear strategy to get there? For real, do you have a clear strategy to get there? Or is it hope and pray? Is it, oh, I kind of know what business is, because that's what I used to do when I was dabbling at business before I properly got serious. I used to say to myself, oh, but it's just business, it's easy. And I'm not saying it isn't, but you spent how long becoming the career person that you are, or whatever it is that you're doing right now. You trained, you invested the money, the time, but then you come into your own business and you just think it should just happen. No strategy, no nothing. Is it any wonder that sometimes this doesn't work for people? Because something's so easy to get into, it's very easy to just, oh, well, that's not working, let me just walk away. Are you done with living that way? I hope so. Do you have a clear strategy to get there? Really ask yourself this question. Now, for the rest of this, we're going to look at strategy, because I want to give you ideas here of exactly how to map out your strategy so you start using it to build your six-figure business. Okay? So it's a quick assessment here. I want you to take a little bit of time as I'm asking you some of these questions. Check in with yourself. Do I have these things in place? Number one, package and price. Something I like to say to clients is build your business from the top down, as in work with one-on-one or group clients from there. And then, because I know a lot of spiritual people, you have this big idea, you want to serve lots of people, you want to change lots of lives. I have that too. Project 334K is mine. 334,000 people living to the fullness of their potential, creating six-figure incomes, doing what they're called and born and more and made to do, doing what they love. That is my big vision. But if I tried to, and I did, I can only talk about this because of from experience, I did try to serve, to get to reach all these 334,000 people to begin with. So I was low cost stuff, low everything, low barrier to entry, low, but I didn't have enough finance to reach all of these people. And then I'm working my freaking socks off and getting nowhere. That was me trying to build from the bottom up. But I tell you right now, if you don't want to kill yourself, start from the top down, because then you also bring money into the business. You can reinvest it to reach more people. Start from the top down. Are you building a business from the top? Do you have a package? Do you know what the one problem is that you are solving for people? Or are you telling yourself I'm trying to help everybody, I can help everybody, and I know you probably can. Maybe you have that healing gift, or you have that coaching skill, or whatever it is, and you know that practically everybody needs to hear what you have to say, and you could empower lots of people, you could inspire everyone. Well, unless you have lots of billions in your bank somewhere, you need to actually start with one thing. If you can help everyone, surely you can pick one person to help first. What is one problem that you are best at right now? This is not about being perfect, but one problem you can help people with. Do you know what your one problem is? Do you know who your person is? Who is your ideal client? Who is the person you are best suited to support? Do you know them? Do you see them in your mind's eye every time you're doing your business stuff? Or do you see this mass of people, but you're not reaching anybody, or you're reaching a few people who are not that invested because you're just asking them to pay like $7 or $3 or whatever. And so they're not that invested. And so then you start to doubt your own skill and your own ability to help people, because the people you are drawing to you are not invested. You don't have a clear message. You don't have a clear anything. So people are just coming in because you sound really nice, and maybe you're creating content and they love it. And so, okay, I'll give you £3, but but they're not committed to change themselves. And so then you blame yourself, thinking there's something you're doing wrong. And if you haven't even started in business yet, this may not be anything to you, but for y'all that have, you know what I'm talking about, but are you going to hear? If you're just getting going, these are things to check in with yourself. Are you choose to build your business from the bottom up? No, it's from the top down, sorry. Know what the problem is that you're solving for people. Do you know your person? Describe your ideal client. Have one or two packages at the most. because that's all you need to take yourself to six figures to begin with, then the question is, do you believe in yourself and your offering? Again, perfection is not required here. This isn't about being the best person on the planet to do it. This is about you being you, but fully owning your ability to support people. You don't have to help everyone, but at least if you're one step ahead of anyone, that person is the one you can help. And that's okay. So, number one, do you have a package? Do you have it at a great price? Because the choice on how to help people is up to you. Whether you coach them, counsel them, consult, whether you do it one-on-one, whether you do it as a group, whether you do it as a workshop, whether you do it as standalone programs, but just have one offering at a great price. I cannot emphasize this enough. I know if you're that person that wants to change the masses, the chances are you keep thinking that if they just pay me $1, or if I give things away for free, stop it. Stop it. If you are not at six figures yet and you've been trying to do that for a while, stop it. Stop it. It's not working. Admit that it's not working so that you can find a strategy that actually does work. You need a package, one kind of service offering for a specific person with a specific problem at a great price. If you will focus on that for a period of time and getting people onto that, you will hit six figures. So do you have those things? If you're just getting going, if you're just thinking about transitioning, start mapping that stuff out. Okay? So give yourself a score. I was saying to people, 1 to 5. 5 being, yes, I have a package. Yes, it's a great price. I know exactly what I'm doing. 1 is, no, I don't. Somewhere in between is between 1 and 5. So give yourself a number. What am I doing? How am I doing with having a package at a great price? That's number 1. Number 2, visibility. Getting yourself into the marketplace quickly. Question, what platform are you using to reach your people? Now, some people try to reach or do all the platforms. How is that working for you? What if you just use 1 or 2 and really went deep with them? Because people are there. Of course, choose the places where your ideal person is likely to be, and also a place that you enjoy using. It doesn't even have to be online. Let's be honest. You could go offline. But whatever you choose to do, focus and do it well. Go deep with it. None of this surface-based and doing everything and not really getting anywhere with anything. What platform do you want to use to reach your people, to grow your visibility so they know you exist? I call it communicating. Are you speaking in their language? So when you're writing out social media posts or whatever on your platform, your chosen platform, or doing videos, are you trying to sound so much like an expert that nobody has the freaking idea or any idea what you're trying to say? Really? Or have you taken the time to really think about your ideal client, even interview a few of them, to hear their language hear how they think about the problem that you're trying to solve for them, hear what they want? Because yes, I know you know what they need, but they don't always know what they need. They just know what they want. Are you speaking in their language about what they want? Are you daily creating content that will reach their heart? Are you where they are, reaching them with content or being there in person if you decide to go networking or speaking? Are you out there where they are, deliberately connecting and communicating with your people every single day? If you're just getting going, consider that. That's what you need to do. You need to increase your visibility. Okay? So what platform are you using? Are you speaking their language? Are you daily creating content? Are you deliberately connecting and communicating with people every single day? You can use blog posts or writing articles in magazines. You can do videos, live streams, social media posts, go into groups, webinars, adverts. Adverts are great. Networking, speaking engagement, podcasts. So much options. So many options to reach people. Networking, I said that already. So many options to meet people. Are you doing it though? I remember creating a whole document for clients on the various different ways that you can get your message out. You can reach out to me. I'll get that to you. But are you communicating daily? Are you raising your visibility? Again, give yourself a score. 1 being not really. 5 being, yeah, I'm out there daily doing that every day. I'm raising my visibility. I'm not afraid. Check yourself. 3, audience growth. So now that you've gone out there reaching all these people, are you inviting them into your world daily? Are you giving them a reason to come into your world? Do you have a mailing list? I don't care whether you're building a business offline or online. You need a mailing list because most people are not going to buy from you immediately. So are you finding a way to follow up with them by building a mailing list so you can stay in touch? Do you have these things in place? Do you have these things in place? You can create a free giveaway. Have you done that? Do you have a landing page where people can sign up for it? As said, are you building the mailing list? Are you using both organic and advertising? So both free and paid ways to draw people into your world, to grow that audience every single day. I like to say to my clients, 15 people on your list every single day. It takes some doing to get there when you're just starting from scratch, but you can. So concentrate, focus on that. How can I grow my audience every single day of people who are interested in what I have to offer? That's how you grow your audience every day. Okay? Again, give yourself a score, 1 to 5. How you doing? 1 is bad. 5 is, yeah, I'm okay, or I'm doing great. Are you in the middle? Give yourself a score. How you doing? 4, sales. Which can seem like a bit of a swear word to some people. Basically, sales. Are you daily asking for the sale? Whether it's via email, whether it's by directly, messaging people, directly connecting with people who have shown interest in what you have to say. Are you connecting with them? Do you have sales pages? Do you have sales posts? Are you doing sales calls? I used to call that closing. When you say closing or sales, it's for a lot of spiritual people, it feels like, oh, I don't want to force people. I don't want to pressure them into doing something. They should just know if they want my thing. I'm out there, I'm serving them as well as I can with my content. They should know. And if they wanted it, I wouldn't need to sell anything to them. It's a lie, my loves. It's a lie. If you want to sell more, you need to tell people exactly what it is you can help them with and exactly what you want them to do next. You have to. There's no way around this, my loves. So when you think of selling, do you think they should just be attracted to you because you've done all your internal work, you cleared and healed and everything, and now people should just run to you? Now, some people will. I'm not saying that doesn't work. I'm a firm believer, clear your energy. It just helps. But if you are dependent on that alone as a strategy, you will be hungry. Your business will not grow. Not consistently, not predictably. And you know what? Business growth is not actually that complicated. You do these simple things over and over again, your business will grow. Can you start to see selling as a form of service? You have something that could literally change people's lives. How can you not tell them about it? I feel it's a responsibility that we each have to get out there. Tell people exactly how we can help them. Invite them to take the next step with you. Be clear about it. Be deliberate about it. Be consistent with telling them. Again, give yourself a score. What are you like for sales strategy? What do you have in place? Do you have anything in place? And the final thing, it is the courage and consistency. Last week, I talked about that rare but critical characteristic of a six-figure business owner, courage. Because everything I've mentioned here, it's not that it's hard to do. It's that it takes courage to do. And to do it consistently, you need new habits. Are you doing this stuff daily? Daily, writing out and getting clear on your goals. Daily, telling people about your package, communicating with people, growing that audience, daily raising your visibility, daily growing that audience, daily doing sales. Are you being consistent every single day? Regardless of what's happening, who is sick, who isn't sick, all of that stuff, all the stories we tell ourselves and the reasons why we give ourselves we don't need to do this. Are you done with the stories? Give yourself a score. How courageous, how consistent are you being? 1, not so much. 5, yay! Or something in between. These scores are mostly for you, okay? You can send them to me if you want to, but they're for you. So when you're telling yourself, oh, my business hasn't worked, or oh, maybe I don't do that. No. Are you doing these things? Are you? So as I said already, do you have a goal? Do you have a package? Is it priced well? Are you visible in the marketplace? Are you growing that audience? Are you selling daily? Are you consistent? How do you think you're doing? Because as I already said, business growth, it is simple, easy, swift. And I say this all the time, but I remember the divine saying this to me, and I really got angry with him. Because at the time that he said this to me, it did not feel that way. If he had been a physical being, I would literally have punched him out, because it did not feel that way. And so maybe you're listening to me and thinking, especially if you've been in business for a while and it's not working the way you hope to, even though you are skilled and you're healing and you're coaching, and you're not getting the clients in. And so here I am telling you it's supposed to be easy, simple, and swift. And you're thinking, yeah, you're probably swearing at me, basically, but it is true. Okay, you're gonna think that there's something more. So it's just this morning somebody asked for my book, and so I'd sent out the details, and I went to look at their social media profile, and they were talking about how, oh, when people succeed they forget what it's like to be at the bottom, and all of this and all of the other, and I was dismayed. I don't normally respond to this kind of stuff on social media because I'm not into getting into arguments about nonsense, basically. But this time I was like, you know what, honey? It's not true. One of the reasons I do this is because I remember what it's like to be super broke, to be lying in bed, crying my eyes out, wondering, how am I going to make it through? To not have anything, or at least that's the way it felt at that time. And I was supposed to be a pharmacist, for freaking sake. And yet, so restricted. And people can listen to that and say, oh, well, at least you were a pharmacist. Everybody, some people, if you're stuck in the self-pity thing, which is one of the things that we'll talk about a little bit here, is that you think your story is somehow worse than everybody else's. The reason why you haven't done it is because it's worse than everybody else's reason why they haven't done it, or why they. And so you look at people who have made it and you somehow think they had it better than you, or they knew some secret or something. And this woman was talking this anyway, and I just said, it's not true. It's not true. It's just that I made choices, even in the middle of chaos and craziness and depression and sadness and all of that. I made different choices. Even when it seemed stupid to make those choices, I made those choices. And anybody can do it. But I don't promise to begin with that it's easy. It isn't. When all you want to do is pull a blanket over your head and hide from the world, and yet you have to make a choice to show up. It's not always easy. But do you want the vision or not? Because your vision is your permission. You are very capable of your calling. You are the authority in your life. And yes, you're going to have these obstacles of fear. Of course you are. You're doing something different. You're going to feel afraid. Of course you are. But will you move anyway? You're going to worry what people think of you, especially if it's like me being a pharmacist. I didn't want to put anything on my personal profile on Facebook because I was scared of what people would think of me. But, oh, she's just money grabbing. And I even had friends telling me that I'm just money grabbing, that I just want money. That's why I'm doing all of this. And then I had friends stop talking to me. But when I was talking about how I'm broke and how life is hard, they would be, sympathizing with me and, oh, I understand it. But then I decided to do something about it. They didn't want to know. People laughed at me for investing money I did not have. Oh, you're investing that charlatan. They're scamming you. Okay. They are still there. I am here. So yeah, it's a valid fear. People will have opinions. But are they worth your prosperity? You've got to ask yourself that question. Is anyone worth your prosperity? The difference you could make to your generational line. You could be the way shower that changes everything. But because somebody could potentially say something stupid about you, you're going to stop? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Who is worth your prosperity and the prosperity of generations to come after you? Self-doubt. Yeah, I know. Especially when it comes to selling your gifting, your skills, your whatever. It feels like it's almost easier to sell a light bulb or to sell something that is separate from you. But when you come to be a coach, to be a healer, there's this inside of you that feels like if they reject the sale, they're rejecting you. And so you start to doubt yourself. Or if you're that person that's been in business, gathering lots of people who don't really want to invest in themselves at all around you, you start to doubt that maybe I'm not called. Maybe I don't have the gift that I thought I did. But actually, no, it's because you dragged people who are not ready for change. You haven't demanded that they step up. Because like I told you my story, I had to step up. I didn't have no money sitting around waiting for me to invest in myself. I still remember the divine even calling on me during this was when I was still going to church, and there was this guy giving a talk about tithing, 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 and I could hear the divine saying to me, "You need to invest 35,000 in that coach and go and work with that coach." And I'm like, "What? What now?" Did I have 35,000 sitting around waiting for me to give to a coach to teach me what to do? No, honeys. This was after the initial 10,000, okay? So no, I didn't. I just knew, well, I have a choice. Am I going to believe in myself enough to find a freaking way to do it? And I did. You worrying about another obstacle for spiritual people is that you then start to doubt that your vision is actually your permission. You start waiting for another sign from the divine. You worry because you're talking about money and making money in your business, that, oh, this can't be good. Maybe the divine doesn't want me to make money or this much money. I shouldn't be talking about money. And this again is why people just, if you don't focus on money and how you're going to bring it in, you are not going to bring it in. That's all. You will keep doing the lovely, nice, oh, I'll write another book and I'll do another low cost little program over here. And, and you'll keep doing that stuff and people will keep liking your posts and in your world and all of this. And maybe they'll bring out a few little $27 maybe. And you'll keep doing that and you'll feel, and you might even feel completely fulfilled, except when you think about your money. And I see people getting sick because they just get so tired. Don't let this be you. Your higher power wants you to prosper. Whatever you call your higher power, man. You are here to live life in all its fullness, and you need money to do that. Do not deceive yourself into thinking that you can just do it for nothing. Anyway, comparing yourself to people further along than you. This is again where you're in business and you start doing this certain strategies that you can do when you're making lots of money. Not at the beginning, but you're comparing yourself to somebody who's been in business for a while and has made a success of it, and you're trying to do the same thing that they're doing, or you're comparing yourself and thinking, I'll never get to where they are. That doesn't work. And so then you psych yourself out. For goodness sake, stop doing that. Be where you are. It's okay to start as a beginner. It's okay to be a beginner. Just then commit that, I'm not staying here much longer. And I'm sorry, if you are not making six figures yet, you're still a beginner, and it's okay. It's okay. I don't care how long you've been doing it. You could be doing it for 20 years. If you haven't made your business a success, you're a beginner. Start where you are. Stop telling yourself stories of where you should be and you're comparing yourself to this person and making yourself feel bad and then shaming yourself. No, okay, you made mistakes, so what? Every single thing you learn from, as long as you don't freaking quit. You learn and you move on. So don't compare yourself to other people. The other thing is about being too, your obstacle could be that you're quite comfortable in your current existence, which could be that you're making great money in your job. And so as much as you think about your vision, it's just something you think about at some point. Or your partner is making great money. So even though you're in business and you're working really hard, you're not really doing the things that will make you lots of money, because in the end, your partner is there and it's okay. And the crazy thing is that people can get very comfortable in their uncomfortable situation. You're just so comfortable with the struggle. You struggled all the time, and so you don't even know how to live without struggle. And so you keep making choices that keep you in the struggle because you are comfortable with struggle. One of the things I had to face in breaking through was the feeling that life would get boring if I had lots of money. I literally had to realize it's okay for life to be boring, okay? It's okay for my money life particularly to be boring. I don't need it to always be up and down and struggle here. Am I going to make it? Am I going to make it? Am I going to make it? Come on now. At some point you get tired of doing that. Except most people, you don't know that this is happening to you. So you're too comfortable with your current existence. And other obstacles would include self-pity. I've mentioned this, where you're somehow comparing yourself to everybody else and telling yourself that that your story is somehow harder than everybody else and they don't understand you. And, if they were in your situation, they would understand why you can't do it. I'm sorry, honey, but it's a lie. You are created in the image and likeness of the divine. You are powerful. You are powerful. If you have a vision, you have the ability to take the next step. I'm not saying that you're going to know all the steps, but I am saying that you have enough for the next step. And as you take that next step, the next step will open too. I'm not saying there are not going to be times when it feels like hell. As I said, building a business and having children are the two things that demand so much from you. But you have it in you to do it. You can do hard things, and then those hard things become easy. And one day you'll be looking back and wondering what on earth you were stressing out about. But if you allow self-pity to get you, and anything where you're telling yourself somehow your life is harder than everybody else's, it's pity, self-pity. It will destroy your destiny. Get over that nonsense. Whoever you're looking at had their own stuff to get over. So do you. If they can, so can you. You're jaded. Maybe you've been doing this thing for a whole long time and it just feels like you just stop hearing. You just know everything. You there's a part of you that just knows everything. You just and this happens as well as you're getting older. You get into your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s. You're thinking about this dream, but you've been thinking about it for a while, and you've also seen a lot of hardship in life for whatever reason, because you know what, life happens to everybody. So things happen. And then you get to the point where those early, in your 20s or your early 30s or whatever, you felt so full of enthusiasm and you're sure you're going to take over the world. You get to your 40s, 50s, 60s, and you haven't taken over the world yet. You get jaded. You start to tell yourself, well, maybe it's not meant to be. And you look at younger people with a smile on your face saying, oh, you don't know yet how hard it's going to be. And you get this jaded thing where you're not really hearing. But you're here, you're listening to me, so please, God, let me break through. Let me break through to you. Don't let this whole jaded thing get you. I don't care how old you are. I've worked with clients in their 60s and she changed her freaking life. I'm not going to say it was always easy, but it's not easy for anyone. Not when you're starting something different. Just don't give in to that cynical look on life. It's just don't do that to yourself. Remain childlike as much as you can. Remain that childlike curiosity. Keep it going. Develop it again. Or you're that overgiver. You know you're called to many, and so you start giving to every single person. And I've talked about this a few times, but that overgiving thing, it seems so good. And yet it destroys so many people. It makes you sick. It makes you resentful. It makes you start to hate your vision. Enough. Boundaries required. So these are obstacles that we all face if you're not careful. And the sad thing, as I say on there, is that you won't realize this is happening to you. Or you'll even be fighting to stay stuck, which is just craziness, but people do it. You fight to stay stuck. So I ask you again, are you actually ready to break through to six figures for real? Because if you are, you do need a mentor. You do. Why? Because you have blind spots. You don't always know where you're getting in your own way. And so you start and you stop and you start and you stop and you run away. And even if you're working with a mentor, if you don't keep showing up and take full authority, full responsibility for your thing, how is the mentor supposed to come and chase you down? So are you actually ready to break through? Because if you do, you do need a mentor. You do need someone to show you what you're doing. Because you're losing focus. You're asking the wrong people for advice. I see this happening so many times, and it's one of the biggest reasons, again, why people fail. Because you're asking someone who's not done what you want to do for advice. How is that going to work? And then you tell yourself lies, except you don't know that they're lies. So you believe them. You think your way of seeing the world is the only way of seeing the world until you work with somebody who has gone to the level that you want to go to, because it's a different level of thinking that gets you there. You need that objective view. You need accountability. You do need to focus. This whole trying to start 20 million businesses at the same time because you're afraid that none of them are going to work means that all of them don't work. You need focus. And you need a sounding board. You need a strategy. And you need someone to spot when you're going off track. Because the first time you do something, you don't know that you're going off track. You don't know that you're going off track. You need someone who says, honey, I've seen this before. I know it seems reasonable, but it's taking you off path. come back. And so that you need to be coachable and teachable, or else you just don't listen. Basically, for me, mentors, coaches, they changed my life. But it never came at some kind of perfect time. No, I had to choose to do it when it seemed illogical. But I had to make the choice between, well, I know that my best thinking got me here. Do I want to carry on? Or am I going to follow the divine prompting inside of me to do whatever I need to do to work with this mentor? Because it was never convenient. I never just had the money sitting there. Oh, I'll just give you lots of money. No, I didn't have it. I had to become the person by choosing to become that person that invests at that level. I'm not saying that you all have to do some crazy, crazy investment, whatever. But I suppose that if I did it, I did it because I knew that I was called to something more. Do you know that? And if you do, are you willing to step up? Are you willing to step up? I used credit, I borrowed, I committed. Again, this is I'm telling you my story. I did what I needed to do to move myself forward, as well as I know now with the benefit of hindsight that some of the thinking that we're trained and programmed to believe about when to use money to invest in ourselves and all of that. Somehow it's okay to go to university and invest, God knows what. People crippled by student loans, but then they start their business and think they should just somehow, yeah, no investment necessary. Or there's all kinds of weird middle class thinking that is designed to keep you in the middle class. But when you're in the middle of it, it seems reasonable, it seems logical. And so you make these choices that keep you trapped. But you think you are, because you've been trained to think that that is a sensible way to think. So you keep telling yourself, oh, no, 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 I just don't want to do this. I don't want to, I will have to make sure you're making silly choices, but you think they're sensible. Again, this is why you need a mentor. Because you don't realize that you've been programmed to stay stuck. And it looks reasonable because everybody around you is doing exactly the same thing. But you want uncommon success. And you're trying to act like a common person. It's not going to work, my love. It's not. If I'd waited until I could fit everything into my time, my chaotic life, my capped budget, guess what? I'd still be waiting. I would still be waiting. It's up to you. So I have a few questions for you. Are you actually that coach, that teacher, that healer, that course creator, that consultant, energy worker, service-based business person? Something similar to those things that I've mentioned. Are you not yet reaching 6 figures in profits? And do you want to? As I said at the start, some spiritual people, you're too ashamed to actually admit that you want to make money. Can't help you until you're willing to at least say to yourself, you know what? I want to make money whilst living in my purpose, changing lives. So are you that person ready to say yes to that? Or maybe that's not you. You're not in business yet. But you're ready to transition from an unfulfilling job or career into your own coaching or healing business where you get to change people's lives, be your own boss, and live out your life's purpose. Do you want to be making 6 figures within a year of starting your business? Can you say yes to that? Are you ready now to invest time, energy, money to create your 6-figure business? Or is it some nice to have when things are convenient? Or are you ready now? Do you resonate with my work? Do you want my business coaching support to reach 6 figures within 12 months? Questions for you. Can you say yes to those? Because if that sounds like you, then I do invite you to get on the phone with me in the 6-figure spiritual business consultation. Okay? It's completely free for now. May not always be. I love my bare head there. Okay, during this consultation, we'll work together to get crystal clear clarity on your vision, your goals, as in your income goals, and we'll start to look at a simple plan to get you there. We'll uncover hidden challenges that make you procrastinate, to make you second guess and doubt yourself and hold back from going after the vision that you have inside of you. You will leave that consultation feeling clear on how to make your transition to creating that 6-figure income. You'll feel empowered, re-inspired to move forward to that money freedom, to time freedom, to purpose. And you'll also know exactly how working with me in the Accelerator program can support you to bring your vision to life more easily, more swiftly than you can alone. Okay? So if you're truly ready to break through to six figures now, you need to go over to rosemarynonny.com/accelerator. Let's have that conversation. Or maybe you already know, because right there, the option is to just join in. It tells you a bit more about it. Go over there. It's rosemarynonny.com/accelerator. Join in. But only if you're ready. Only if those questions apply to you and you're ready now. None of this, you come on the phone and, oh, no, I'm thinking about doing it in a few months' time, or when this is ready, or when that is ready, or when I have that. No, please no. I'm looking for those who know they're called and they're ready now to move forward. This time next year, you could be in a completely different place if you will focus. If you are coachable, if you are teachable, you could be in a completely different place. Because as I said earlier, business growth is not supposed to be something really horrible and complicated. What gets complicated is what goes on inside of you. If you get support with that, have a clear strategy, no reason why you can't move forward. No reason why you can't move forward quickly. But you don't know what you don't know yet. This is why you need a mentor. So that brings us to the end of the masterclass for today. I am now going over to speak with clients, and I'll end this live stream here on Facebook. Such a pleasure doing this with you. Much amazing love. Have a great time, whatever it is that you're doing next. Much love, guys.